Okay.
So thank you for joining the Earth Heroes. You are my first video
Awesome.
interview. I know, right? It's
I'm
cool.
special.
Well, you'll be forever my first, won't you? So I wanted to do something that celebrated the people who are making positive change in their life that also impacts the environment in some way. And I know you kind of went on the eco journey. So I just want you to tell me a bit about that, really. And where did you start?
Yeah. So for me, it was really about, it started with minimalism. I know you mentioned that in your post. That's what kind of drew me in. And I actually moved from a small house, it wasn't small compared to a lot, but I moved from a smaller house to a massive house. And I was living in the smaller house for 5 years. And then when I moved to the massive house, it was like literally 5 bedrooms on 3 stories, and just like, it was huge. And that's what success meant to me at the time. And it was like, I had all this stuff. And, you know, like about 8 years ago or so, I was living off welfare. I had like no money, and everything we got was for free or from like Gumtree or Free Cycle or from friends. And as I started making more money, I bought more stuff. Because there's this little mentality still in my head that, oh, well, I better like hold on to this stuff because, you know, I didn't have any money before, and it's like I can't throw anything out. Yeah. And then I also had this mentality of, I had stupid rules around all these things. Like, I can't throw books away. Books are special. And I had this little girl picture in my head of like Beauty and the Beast with Belle with the bookshelves with the ladder, and me wanting floor to ceiling bookshelves one day and a library.
I'm still there. I have to admit, it's the one thing I can't deal with right now, but yeah. So your rules, like books, what else was there? Rules around as well.
Yeah, so the kids had heaps and heaps of toys at the old house as well, and we ended up moving them to a different room, and they ended up not even like caring. And so we just eventually like started getting rid of stuff. We gave things to other people. We gave things to charity shops. We threw some things out. We sold some things. And we also told family, it took a few years for family to stop doing this actually. We told them to stop buying plastic crap and toys and all these things. And like, if they wanted to buy something, buy an experience or books or, you know, clothes, something they could use. Because they keep buying us the same things every year. Just, you know, there's no thought put into it as well. And so when we moved to this big house over like the last year, probably from last year to this year, start of this year, we actually ended up having less and less stuff. And even though we had more room, we had less stuff than what we had in the older house. And in February this year, I separated, or March, probably start of March, I separated from my partner, and we knew that we were going to move over to Portugal. I was living in Australia still at the time. I'm in Portugal now. And I was like, well, you know, we're putting things into a storage unit, but I don't want a big storage unit. I was like, just get rid of everything. I don't even want anything anymore. Maybe just a few little things from when I was a little girl, you know, like my books from year 1 or something like that. I have my cast from like when I was 6 and I broke my arm, you know, little keepsakes. But other than that, there were some things I kept because I couldn't sell them in time, but I will, when I go back to Australia, I'll get rid of even more. And yeah, we just got rid of so much stuff. And it was because I travel so much anyway. I don't believe in, like, I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to be in one spot. I'm living between Europe and I'll be spending more time in Australia because my boyfriend's there. But it was really, for me, as I let go of more and more stuff, it was like this big weight lifted off my shoulders. It was like letting go of all this emotional baggage. And I also then changed my mindset to, well, if I've bought all these clothes that I've never worn or haven't worn for years or have worn once, and I'm getting rid of it all. Well, it put me in a mindset of, when I was walking around the shops, well, I don't need to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
And so I completely changed my mindset around that, because I think when we sometimes we hold on to things because we're not happy within ourselves. We don't have connection within ourselves. We're trying to create some kind of pleasure from buying things. And when we change our mindset around that, we can let go. And it's so freeing as an individual. And it means when you let go of the physical stuff, you're able to free yourself, like mentally, emotionally, but also energy wise, space wise. You can free yourself to travel around the world or do whatever. And I guess going back to your original question, obviously it's good for the environment as well. And, you know, some people think, well, I'm just one person, but if everyone thought like that, you know, look at the world. And what you do as an individual then creates a ripple effect to your family, your friends, your community, your clients, and then other people start doing that as well.
Like this year, I know what you're saying about the kids' toys, because I've got lots of nieces and nephews who are all very little. Like the youngest one's a week old, the oldest one's like 3.5, should be 4 in March, or 2 of them are 4 in March actually. And I look at what I'm going to ask Santa to bring for them, and it's like he's kind of got it covered.
Yeah.
You know? With all the family and friends that they have,
yeah,
there is literally nothing that I can give that they will remember. I mean, what did you get for your Christmas when you were 4? Who even remembers that? Like, you know, it isn't. So I've decided this year everybody's having handmade Christmas from me.
Cool.
And I'm crocheting teddies for the kids, and that's it. But everybody thinks I'm a bit weird.
Yeah, my family did too. Yeah. It literally took me about 3 years for them to get it in their head that, no, we don't want stuff, like stop buying it. Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember when I was little, there were 4 of us kids. I'm the eldest of 4. And my mum, like, we didn't get much throughout the year. Like, we didn't go without, but we weren't bought stuff all the time like kids are these days, or a lot of kids are. And mum would just go crazy at Christmas time. And we'd literally have a whole room covered with all these toys. And so then, you know, you can pass that along and do that for your kids, and, you know, they get that in their head, or you can break the cycle. Like, it's not needed.
It's what you were saying about this vision of success, isn't it? And especially because I know you're so successful in the entrepreneurial world with your business. Like, there is this natural assumption that if you've got money, you're going to buy stuff with it. You know, like, you're going to demonstrate your power and success and wealth by the accumulation of Breitling watches and Bugattis and, you know, holidays on yachts and all of those kind of things. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Well, look at Warren Buffett.
Then sort of going,
Oh, sorry, you keep breaking up.
I know, the connection's crap.
Yeah. Warren Buffett's, you know, one of the most, or if not, you know, one of the most successful men in the world. And he drives a beaten up, old, crappy car and has lived in the same house for years and years and years. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are ultra successful and have a lot of money, and they wear the same clothes all the time. And it's like, I think true success, that's ego success, when we like, I've got to wear designer clothes and I've got to keep up appearances or whatever. True success is having connection and happiness within yourself and living life on your terms, not trying to impress anyone. And whether that means buying a designer dress, you know, for me, I bought a designer dress about 2 or 3 years ago that I only wore once or twice. It was $800, and I bought it because I was emotional that day. I was feeling sad. Like, that's the wrong intention behind buying something, you know? And that dress did not make me feel happy. The opposite of sadness is happiness, you know? And I was feeling guilty as well, actually, about something that was going on in my life at the time. And the opposite of guilt is self-worth. And buying myself that dress and spending that money wasn't self-worth. what would have been self-worth in that time was maybe dealing with my emotions and like taking time out for myself, you know.
It's fascinating, isn't it? There's a pair of regular choice shoes are my, like, you know, we were saying our friend in London, like his house is right near a regular choice shoes. And every time I go and see him and I walk past them, I'm like this in the window, you know, like I love them. They're beautiful. They're stunning. And a couple of years ago, I did buy myself a pair of winter boots, and they were a stupid amount of money for winter boots, really. And I've worn them twice
Yeah.
because I just can't walk in them.
Yeah.
You know, which is me. I can't walk in heels. I don't like heels. Like, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
So why did I do that to myself? Like, what was the thing?
Well,
Right?
yeah. I think there's a couple of things as well. It's like asking from a surface level, it's asking the question, you know, oh, these look really pretty and they're beautiful, but am I actually going to wear them? And if you're like, well, no, I don't wear stupidly high heels or whatever, then no. But deeper than that, from an emotional perspective, it's looking at, well, how are you feeling on that day or around that time in your life? And if there's something like lacking in your life, or you're not living in alignment with your values, not feeling fulfilled or whatever, then we can want to go and buy a pair of expensive shoes, or want to go and eat out all the time. Or, you know, it doesn't just come down to money as well. We can escape, avoid, or medicate. So it can be with spending money on things or eating food. It can be like, when we're lacking connection, we might want to have sex, but it's like not actually giving us the connection we want. It's just an avoidance. So it's like when you really find that happiness and connection within yourself, you realize that you don't need as much stuff. But also then when you do make that decision to buy something, it's coming from the right intention.
Yeah. I recently discovered this concept of capsule wardrobes,
Mm.
which for me was fab, because it was like, I'm the least fashion conscious person in the world anyway. Like, this, you know, Steve Jobs is reported to have like worn black turtleneck jumpers and jeans. Like, I would be totally happy with that, because I just cannot be dealing with life in a morning when I'm thinking about you know, like, what do I wear today? Does this go with that? Can I wear this? Does that, do I look stupid? Do I not? Like, it's just way more stress in my life than I actually need. And I know that's my own head, right? But seriously, if you just told me I was going to wear jeans and a vest top for the rest of my life, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Like, throw me a couple of chunky cardigans in and I am done.
Well, we only have so many decisions we can make in a day. And that's why they say people like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, you know, different people that are super successful, they're using that willpower, brain power for more important decision making than what shirt am I going to wear today?
Yeah. And like, I think traveling does this, because I know when I left the UK and went to Spain with like one suitcase, that's kind of it. That's all you've got. You know, and if you're walking past the shops, you know you can't buy anything because it's not going to fit in the case the next time you get on a plane.
Yeah.
And so it's probably a pretty extreme way of breaking the cycle, but it does work. It's like, you know, these are just the things. And it does free that headspace up for more important stuff in your life, doesn't it?
Exactly. Like, so I left Australia in May or June, somewhere around that. I was in Bali for 3 weeks. Then I went to a music festival in Belgium. Then I came to Portugal, and I've been in Portugal since June. And it's interesting, since February, I've been living in Airbnbs and hotels and different places. Every week, pretty much, I was moving from place to place for most of the year. And I moved into the place I'm at now probably five or so weeks ago. And it was interesting because I'd been traveling, like you said, hadn't been holding on to much, buying much. When I moved into this place, I've got a big, beautiful space here. There's 2 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, big open plan living, dining, kitchen area. And when I moved in here, I felt I had this thing in my head that said, buy some stuff for your house. And I was like, no, Ellie, you don't need it. And it's like literally all I needed was some bed sheets. And because I've let go of so much this year, even buying a blender was like, whoa, that's a big commitment. Like, it was full on. But
buying things actually freaks you out in the end. I know.
Yeah. but it's interesting because I still had that thought in my head that, oh, I need things for my house. And but I listened to it. I had enough self-awareness to go, no, you don't. Everything's fine. It's furnished. I just needed some towels and some bed sheets, and I was good. And it's just interesting how much we're conditioned by our belief systems, our mindset, society, our upbringing. And we can actually just change that and flip all the rules and let go of the rules.
Yeah.
And another thing that came up this year as well that's really important is when I was still in Australia and I left my house and I was living in Airbnbs and I sold my car, I had to give away my cat, most of my possessions, and just like all of these physical things, plus a lot of emotional things I was letting go of and everything. And I felt like I was losing everything. And like we can have this mindset that, oh, I've lost everything, I'm going backwards, I'm a failure, you know, whatever else comes up. But I actually switched that mindset. I did a visualization and I changed the perspective. Instead of losing everything and going backwards, I realized that I was actually letting go. I was shedding a skin to be able to bring in the new and step into the next phase of my life. And when we don't do that, when we're desperately clinging on to all these things, you know, people, stuff and things, then we don't actually create the time, space and energy for new, amazing people and things to come into our life.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful journey, isn't it? I said, you know, with my own stuff, like I've been in so many different environments over this last 18 months that I would never have been in had, you know, I not left the UK. And it's given me a completely different appreciation of what really is important. And that opportunity to explore, you know, like, how do I actually feel about this? What is really important? And, you know, even while I've been over here in Macedonia for these last few weeks, I've been offered jobs in Belgrade and Sarajevo, you know, and other co-working spaces are interested in hosting me and all this kind of stuff. I could easily spend the rest of the next year traveling around various different places, which is awesome. But actually, one of the things that I've become aware of is that that's actually not going to serve me. The real challenge, the real adventure for me right now is to see if I can maintain that connection and value and build those relationships with people in my own community. Like, I'm great at doing the online international digital nomad thing. That's dead easy, right? For me, the personal challenge is different now. And can I do that without then accumulating all of this stuff again? You know, like, and that I think is the adventure for me for the next sort of phase, you know. But if I hadn't have got rid of everything and I hadn't have had that experience, you know, I don't think I would have really seen it in the same way. I noticed when I was back for a few months this year, I started getting things for my room. You know, I started buying more.
Not,
you know, different headbands, my downfall at the minute. But like bits of makeup or extra books or notepads, or I would just nip into town and there would be a few new tops that I liked. This is getting scary. I got a wardrobe. I've never been so freaked in my life as buying a wardrobe. And I'm like, why do I need one of these things? And it was full. And I'm like, that's too many clothes. I can't even deal with the. And everybody thought I was like crazy, which I am, but I'm totally okay with that. But I was like, what am I trying to fulfill? You know, why am I kind of like filling up this cup again? Of stuff. And it was like, oh, because I haven't learned the lesson that I needed to learn emotionally to be okay with that.
And I think sometimes we need to go to the extreme and let go of everything, like I did, like you have. And sometimes you just need to chip away bit by bit. Other times it's maybe putting a ban on like going to the shops, because even just walking around the shopping center, you get sucked in by the marketing and the bright lights and the colors and the music and everything. Like, everything is designed in the shops for you to buy shit you don't need, you know? And I teach my kids that lesson as well. Like, my kids will walk around the shops and they're like, can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have that? I'm like, if you ask for anything, I'm not even buying you dinner. You're going to bed hungry. And it's like, and I teach them though around, well, you know, marketing in the shops is they have these chocolates by the end for you to want to buy them. And I've taught them the whole concept of, you know, why things are in different places in the shops, and even, you know, the music and the colors and the what I think this is on sale. It's to try and suck you in. And because I've had that conversation with them, the last time we went to the shops, my daughter was like, can I have this? And she's 8. And I said, oh, you're getting sucked in by the marketing. And she's like, rolled her eyes at me and didn't ask again. She got it. It was cool.
Somebody described, because digital marketing is my kind of thing, and somebody described me the other day as a people hacker, which is totally true. Like, marketing is really about creating emotions in people so that they act in a way that is useful. I've just been chatting with the guys in my agency to say, like, our focus now is going to be solely on encouraging environmental friendly and basically good stuff. You know, like, my client base is going to be solely around that, because we know we do powerful stuff, and I kind of can't continue this earth hero kind of journey with that contradiction in my life, you know.
Totally.
But marketing is that's solely what it's designed to do, you know. And some things, like, are good, you know, some things are good to have in life,
exactly.
But also marketing shit. I spoke to a personal trainer in a coffee with Dan group the other day, actually. He said he wanted to know, he wanted an example of a lifestyle brand that was really powerful for creating change for people. And I said, Marlboro, and he was like, what, the cigarette brand? And I'm like, if Marlboro undoubtedly as an advertising, marketing and brand, like, were phenomenally powerful. Like, what we now know is that cigarettes pretty much kill you pretty quickly. The power of that marketing is so strong that people still buy into. And so I think as a society, we now have to decide, like, what we want to use that power for.
It's like I use NLP and emotional clearing work, and for anyone who's listening to this that doesn't know, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and like with that I can help people overcome anxiety, depression, stop having panic attacks, let go of trauma, like massive emotional shifts. But there's some people that use it as pickup artists to, you know, get girls to sleep with them and manipulate them. You know, so you can use these tools and these amazing things and skills with what I do with mindset work and coaching, and what you do with, you know, or what, you know, people do with marketing, what people do with sales. You can use it for, you know, good or bad, evil or wanting to actually help someone and change their life. And I think as well, it's interesting you brought up like the digital stuff, because we can let go of all this physical stuff, but it's the same with digital stuff. People buying course after course after course, signing up to all these emails, having all this stuff on their laptop. Like, I think when I started doing my whole minimalism journey at the start of last year, I was actually living in Europe for 2 months. So I was like, oh, I can't get rid of anything physically because I'm not at home at the moment. What can I get rid of digitally? And so I decided to have one main mentor and not have to be in a million different groups. I also decided to sign up to unroll.me for my emails, and it just unsubscribes everything. I tidied up my laptop. I got rid of different Facebook groups that I didn't want to be in, and pages and friends and all this stuff, because what that does, the physical stuff and the digital stuff, it just overwhelms us. And it's like getting rid of the digital stuff as well as the physical stuff creates more space as well.
Yeah, it does, definitely. And I've created time in my week as well. Like Fridays now, absolutely no work day.
Same.
Like, then Friday for me is like sacred now.
Yeah.
So, you know, Friday morning when I'm at home, usually walk down by the river, have a yoga session, like have a nice sit down. Like when I come out of yoga, I always sit by the river for a little minute and just, well, you know, a few minutes, just kind of be and happy and you know, watch the baby ducks grow and all that kind of stuff. And then having a walk home. And Friday afternoons, my other half finishes work early, so we just have an afternoon of doing nothing. You know,
Nice.
like
That's cool.
Chatting or not even doing the washing or like or anything. You know, it's just being. And you know, I think that getting rid of stuff and distractions is massively important. But like you say, everything on this journey is so linked back to the mindset. The getting rid, the how we feel, the anxiety of like, oh my God, what if my phone's on do not disturb 95% of the time now.
Same.
Like,
yeah, I get calls all the time and I don't even call them back. I'm like,
God, never ring me. Never ring me. Like, I literally won't answer.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. You know, and I don't reply to messages at certain times, you know, and the first time I did it, I put my phone on do not disturb when I went to sleep. This is when it started. It was like between 10 and 8 in the morning. My phone was going on to no, do not disturb. And I freaked. I was like, what if somebody needs me at 2 in the morning? Like, the whole point of that feature is that if somebody rings multiple times, it lets them through anyway. So if it is a genuine emergency, you know, like they're getting through. So if somebody wants me at 2 in the morning, but again, this is all the stuff you help people with. So on that kind of minimalist journey, and the mindset side of it is playing a bit into, you know, the world. How can people get in touch with you, and how can they find out more about you?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in business almost 8 years, and I do, I know I've mentioned it a little bit, but I'm a business and mindset mentor. So help people grow their business from flow, not from hustle, using hustle as a tool for creation, not a way of life. And being able to have more time and freedom, amazing lifestyle whilst working on their mindset. So overcoming any abundance blocks, emotional limiting beliefs, things like that are holding you back, so you can build your confidence, build your self-worth, and take fast action and really create whatever you want in life. So people can send me a friend request on Facebook. It's just Ellie Bursko. I can give you some links as well. Like, send me a message and say who you are and where you came from. Otherwise I might be like, who's this? And my business page and my Instagram's Ellie Bursko as well, and website's elliebursko.com.au. I have a free group on Facebook called 7-Figure Mindset for Entrepreneurs as well.
Nice. Right, thank you so much for sharing your journey with me and with the thousands of people who are going to be Earth heroes across the world.
Awesome.
It was great to connect and have so much fun in London. I'm so sorry that I'm not in the UK at the minute to come and meet you.
I'm sure we'll catch up somewhere.
Not far right now. So.
Cool. Nice.
All right. See you soon.